Yo, Inca, you want to come out here?
Okay, so once again, this is BBL Teambuilder, week 2. If you missed last week, then you need to go check that out on the iCard in the top right-hand corner. But to be brief, we beat Sir Jorge, and it went pretty well for us. We didn't see the Venusaur. We did see Tornadus though, so that was kind of interesting, no cap. But this week is a little bit harder. Me and Tone, I believe, are both 1-0. He's +1, I'm +3. That doesn't really matter. It's only week 2, so I mean, you know, things could change easily. But Tone's team is definitely very hard to build for and beat. So, as a result of which, we need to put in some, I would argue, a lot of effort. Excuse me. We need to put in a lot more effort to this team than anything else, but I don't know. Like, honestly, this could be one of those weeks where everything could go right and we could still lose, or everything could go wrong and Tone could make a mistake and lose. So it's really just, it's an interesting battle. So Tone's team's on the right. He has Ho-Oh, Landorus, Therian, Tapu Fini, Tangrowth, Ninetales, Alola, Mew, Scolipede, Goodra, Regigigas, Togedemaru, and Pangoro. We're expecting him to bring basically the top 6, which is Ho-Oh, Landorus, Therian, Tapu Fini, Tangrowth, Ninetales, Alola, and Mew. The reason being is because Ninetales being able to get different weather than us is actually very important for Tone in terms of winning this game with Aurora Veil. Additionally, he has the good and I would argue greatest Pokemon to try and intimidate me with is Landorus Therian. He has a great Uber in Ho-Oh and Mew, since Mew's considered an Uber here, and Mew can run literally any set. Tangrowth is genuinely a wall for like anything, despite being weak to obviously fire moves from Groudon and Victini and Dragapult and literally any other Pokemon that gets it, like Celesteela and Salamence, and even to some extent Flamethrower Weezing, which already has Stab to beat it with. Tapu Fini is realistically a great check to a lot of my other Pokemon that Tangrowth cannot also check. In my opinion, Scolipede and Goodra have another like interesting time to come here. I don't think Goodra does, but I could definitely see Scolipede lead. Regigigas could also come this game because of Dragapult, but I honestly don't think it will. And we're not going to see Togedemaru Pangoro, and if we do, we'll be fine with that exchange. Regardless of that fact, I've been having people bring a more just bulky, heavy-duty boots Ho-Oh, because that's what basically Ho-Oh runs, generally speaking. More defensive-esque rock setting and even defogging Landorus. I know Ben brought Yachi Berry one game. Tapu Fini is basically cherry set because I've run into it recently as of recording this. He was the most recent Mox I've been running around with, and he's been running the Iron Defense Serve draining his Calm Mind set with lefties. Tangrowth is basically a Fizz-Duff wall. Ninetales can either A, just set Aurora Veil, or B, be very offensive and still have Aurora Veil at the same time. I've seen specs from my mock battles. I've also just seen regular light clay Aurora Veil. And then you have Mew, which can literally run any set, but everyone's been running kind of just Castleberry, generally speaking, no matter what the set is. And then everything else hasn't been brought to the mocks. So really it's a top 6, and then I'm basically expecting Scolipede to be here, and maybe even Regigigas. So let's go over what I first built, and then how we got to where I am now. So this week I want to just preface and say we're definitely not bringing Celesteela. I wanted to really badly. I feel like Meteor Beam Celesteela is so good here, but at the same time, I also didn't want to bring Celesteela in the Sun versus Ho-Oh. Ho-Oh definitely put Celesteela to shame. And also, like Celesteela, while it does do a good job against generally the entirety of Tone's team, figure out one specific set wasn't great for me. Like, I could set up Leech Seeds, but if Goodra's there, then I kind of have to be aware of not giving it attack boost. Ninetales just sets up a nasty plastic in front of it while putting up Aurora Veil and then inevitably killing us. Obviously, it could die to a Heavy Summer Flash Cannon, but it's the fact that it could still get damage on us that's very troubling, and we don't get any recovery outside of leftovers. Mew could use as setup fodder as well as just being a transform Mew. Tangrowth can put us to sleep. Even if we are fast and we could kill a Flamethrower, it's still a Pokemon that can definitely sit in front of us if given the chance, and if we don't Flamethrower. Tapu Fini can set up on us or just take us down with Nature's Madness plus anything else. Landorus and Ho-Oh, I mean, Landorus doesn't really beat Celesteela 1v1, but Ho-Oh certainly does. So there's a lot of reasons why I didn't bring Celesteela. I may go back on this and you might see a Pokemon not on the team that I'm going to be bringing, and I might bring Celesteela. I'm still not 110% sure yet. I'm not bringing Salamence this week. I think Salamence is just bad, especially with a Ninetales and a Goodra running around, and a Finny, more obviously. Leafeon still does not hit the field yet. There's too much on this team that Leafeon does not beat, and especially given that we see Ho and Landorus, I'm not going to bring it. And also like Sap Sipper Goodra and Tangrowth. Galarian Weezing is the other Pokemon that's not coming this week, obviously. I feel as though it would have been good this week if I had thought of a better set, but I really wasn't coming out with anything, and I also really wanted to be neutralizing gas. But at the same time, I think Levitate was more important, and if I'm Levitate, then obviously Hail gets up, Misty Surge can get up, and as well Regenerator is still intact. So Weezing was not a very good decision this week, though it could have just been a Swiss Army knife of a Pokemon this week, but not bringing it, unfortunately. But let's talk about what I am bringing. We are bringing Weavile, Dragapult, Groudon, Lycanroc, Dusk, Lantern, and Victini. Lantern might be switched out, obviously, for Celesteela, but we'll get into that in a little bit. But let's go ahead and talk about what we got. So the first build I made was this one. There's very few Pokemon that actually changed from this build, particularly. So Weavile, Victini, and Dragapult are pretty much the same. It's Groudon, Lantern, and Lycanroc Dusk you need to look out for. Basically, with this first build, I was basically being told that Weavile could basically win the game, and I decided to go with a more, just a specs overall Victini that does a lot of damage, gets everything I needed to do done, and additionally, it does a lot of damage without needing a lot of investment. We are Naive Nature, which is unfortunate. I could just go ahead and be timid, in all honesty, because we really don't need that U-turn chip at all. So I'm probably going to switch over to timid, genuinely. But outside of that, Groudon was basically Lumberry for, what was it, Avery? Toxics and Burn from Sacred Fire, and we could just overall just do a lot of damage. I kept saying Tangrowth should be the switch-in, but it's obviously going to be Landorus, so it's not a great set. Dragapult was just basically D-Dance, and then Phantom Force does chunks to everything. We don't die to knockoffs, so we can Dragon Darts everything else. Lycanroc was a Toxic Protect set, mostly because it was a terrible set, and I'm not going to try and explain further. And then Scarf Lantern was mostly for Landorus. I felt like Landorus was a great lead for Tone, especially if he was Scarf. If he wasn't Scarf, then he would just be max speed, max attack, just U-turn, knockoff, Earthquake, and Stealth Rock, and he'd obviously think I'm going to switch out, but Ice Beam would actually KO him. Unless he has like max HP or like max HP and some Spit F, he would actually fall to Ice Beam. So this team wasn't working. So we went with our second build, which was this. You don't see a lot of changes to it, obviously. It's basically Lycanroc becomes Assault Vest, 4 moves, and that's really it. Still not a great set. I feel like I could have just gone Life Orb, but with the mocks I was doing with these first 2 builds, as you can probably tell, there's not a lot of differences besides like moves and some EVs. I know that I gave Groudon Stealth Rock instead of fucking Rock Polish, because I felt like I couldn't get up a Rock Polish in time, and I also could not beat Landorus for the life of me. So this was not a it wasn't a great time with Groudon this week. The third build, however, is where things get a little bit more interesting. It's a bit more cohesive, and it has the nickname, so obviously this should be more and more official. Bring. So Debrigashaw is Assault Vest. It is our lead, most likely, unless it's Lycanroc, which we'll talk about that set as well. Debrigashaw basically comes in for free and can essentially kill any Ninetales in existence, and that's all that really matters. Ninetales does not live a heavy summon no matter what, unless it is Focus Sash, even if it's behind Veil. We do 2-hit KO every single possible Ho-Oh, unless it's Charty Berry or unless I missed some investments here and there, but we are Adamant Rock Slide. I wanted to be Smackdown, but I obviously felt like that wouldn't be the greatest set of all time, so I did not go with it. After that, realistically, we do have Lycanroc, which is Endure, Stone Edge, Endeavor, Excel Rock. Basically, if Tapu Fini is the Calm Mind Iron Defense set, we basically can Endure the Surf and then Endeavor it down, which is our best way to actually beat it. And then we can go into literally anything else and just kill it. After that, realistically, it's Shucca Berry Lantern. We fight lead Landorus, we Ice Beam it, and it dies every single time. I might change this out for a Celesteela set, but let me just talk more so about why I'm bringing the sets I am. Basically, if I get in Weavile and Tone decides to switch out on my SD, basically Weavile can win out a game by itself. If Tapu Fini is low or like around like 70-ish, we kill it Poison Jab, we outspeed everything we need to outspeed, and basically we can win the game from there. After that, it really comes down to how I pivot around in this game. Personally, I think that I'm doing a terrible job on my mocks, but the best mock came from this team and the second build, but I feel like this team's a little bit better in my opinion. Overheat, you might be noticing, is on my Groudon and it's adamant instead of like, and has no investment. Overheat genuinely kills max HP Tangrowth in the sun, so we don't really need any investment, and we don't even need to be a good nature, so we are just adamant Overheat. So it does kill Tangrowth. Tangrowth should not be a switch into Groudon, but if Tone decides, you know what, he's gonna go for Precipice Blades and nothing else, then I guess he's getting hit with an Overheat and it's dying most likely. I am gonna say this is not my greatest build in the world. I will say that I could have built a lot better this week, and I'm still considering the Celesteela set, which if I do make a Celesteela set better than this Lantern set, then before the battle happens, you will see that set. Regardless, guys, this game's gonna be a really tough one, and hopefully you can get a W against Tone and his Miami Malamarlins, excuse me. Sorry, Tone. But regardless, we think top 6 is coming, which again, just to review, is Ho-Oh, Landorus, Therian, Tapu Fini, Tangrowth, Ninetales, Alola, and Mew. We can see Scolipede or Regigigas this week. I'm not really seeing Goodra too much. I'm not seeing Togedemaru too much, and Pangoro I'm not seeing at all. So with that being said, guys, hope you guys like this team builder video. It is a bit quicker than last week's, obviously, because I'm getting more in tune and more like in rhythm of making these. But thank you guys for watching. If you did like this, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Check out everyone else in the BBL down below, and I will see you guys in the battle tomorrow, since this will come out on the Sunday before the Monday of the battle. Peace. An addendum. Hi. So we changed 2 sets. Well, technically 3 sets, like I said we would. So Victini is toxic over Glaciate. Glaciate did not feel worth it, as Landorus likely doesn't want to switch into blue flares in the first place. Special Pult works better than Physical Pult, and Lantern got swapped out for Celesteela. Physical Scarf Celesteela beats Ninetales upon even seeing it, and it can also deal a good chunk of damage to Ho-Oh if it's not Flame Charge, but also Ho-Oh realistically probably is going to be heavy duty boots rather than Charty Berry, so we do a great chunk of damage to max HP. And overall, I think the team is looking a little bit better after this. I know I might not sound sure in my speech right now, but at this point, given the current situation that I'm going through right now, which I'll explain in another video, and it's nothing bad, it's just more about how I'm gonna have to prep a lot of my games. We're just gonna take it with the fuck it we ball type of energy right now and go from there. Regardless, guys, thank you guys for watching this team builder video, and tune in for tomorrow's video, which will be the battle against Tone with this team that's on screen now. I know I said in the video, or at least in the part of the video where I said I might make some changes, that I said, you know, you guys will see that tomorrow. You'll see this team genuinely tomorrow. But talk to you guys next time, and let's go and get into the battle against Tone. Tune in for that tomorrow. Bye, I think, or something.